Praise the Lord, everybody. Hey, I'm grateful that you are here. Do me a favor. Go ahead and subscribe and let others know that Rod Pickens is on. And you guys already know, when God gives me an encounter that I know is going to be life-changing, I make it my business to prepare it and share it with you. Trust me, this is going to be a blessing. Do me a favor. Go ahead and share it with somebody. Let them know that God is finna give a word that's finna catapult your life and change your perspective. All right, I'm going to jump straight into it. So my name is Rod Pickens. For those who don't know me, I'm from the Cost of a Fantasy video and Judgment Day videos and many others that went viral on YouTube. So many of you guys have watched and seen the video that me and Ezekiel did from We Need to Talk show, and it was powerful. We had a brotherhood, we had a connection that was just so authentic and so real and so powerful. But many people didn't know what happened after my obedience on the show. You guys know I'm very careful when it comes down to me ministering, me accepting engagement, and so it is very rare that I accept unless God is sending me forward. So after we got done doing the show, I went through one of the most hardest and trying seasons and encounters of my life. Matter of fact, some would consider it like a Job-like experience, though there was no death in that extremity, but it was an experience that I can relate, that it was a suffering from every different side. So one, there was a massive decline in my health that landed me in the hospital. Two, there was an attack on my camera gear where the power surge of all my camera gear just went out. There was no explained reason or way that led up to it. I believe that it was supernatural. Even when I sent it off to the camera store, they have no idea how it malfunctioned. And three, our home that we were renting from increased their rent $500. And if we did not respond in a certain amount of time, then it increased $1,000. And I knew at this moment, this was an attack from the enemy because of my obedience. However, those are three different videos that I'm going to share, but this one specifically was about the attack on my health in the home. So for the last year, you guys have seen me kind of complain about, anxiety, allergies, the difficulty of me being able to stay in my own home. And so when we first got into the home, there was visible mold that we saw in the container. And so, of course, I disposed of it and all those things. And throughout the year, I had been making complaints to our landlord that, hey, I believe that there's mold in our HVAC system, because when I breathe in, it is becoming difficult for me to breathe. And sometimes I will almost feel like I'm passing out as I'm doing things, as I'm working, as I'm worshiping. No matter what I was doing, I was feeling like that I could pass out at any moment. And so sent requests in and things like that. And so they, in a sense, in a way, it kind of ignored it and led up all the way to the point where I had to do the encounter with Ezekiel. After the show, it intensified. And so not only were they increasing the rent and making me pay $500 to $1,000, it was also difficult for me to stay in the home with the increase of rate. So I ended up reaching out to the company and letting them know that, hey, it is becoming very difficult to breathe in this home, and I'm becoming frustrated because I'm sharing things with you all, and I wanted to make sure that my approach was more aggressive this time, because I didn't want our health to be ignored. And so went on our portal, sent alerts out, sent work orders out, got in touch with the manager, got in touch with the property manager, and they would tell me that there was nothing that they can do because according to the lease, I was responsible for the mold and also all the things that the mold affect. And so I'm reaching out to them, and I'm like, hey, there has to be a way. This is you guys' property, and I'm not understanding why I'm responsible for something that was a problem when we first moved in here. And I made notice of it. You guys have not done anything. And so I reached out to some help from my local church to figure out, what do I do with this? Because I want to be integral, but I also want to be aggressive with our desire to be able to live. And so I got some wisdom and some counsel on that, and which led me to speaking with an attorney and a lawyer, and they was telling me the different routes that we can go by and all those things like that. And so at this point, I became very aggravated because no matter how much I reached out to them to tell them about the harmful things that's going through the air, through the HVAC system, the HVAC air ducts, it seemed like they kind of didn't care. And so I gave them a final phone call. I said, hey, you guys, I've been reaching out. I got in touch with the property manager and the maintenance manager. And I said, hey, you guys are bluntly ignoring me. And it's becoming very frustrating. And, we're going back and forth over the phone. They're saying, hey, you're responsible. I said, no, this was the issue before our home, before we got here. I think other residents have been having the same issue. So we're going back and forth. And at this time, anger, pride, accusations is all over the air, and to the point where we're angry, we're arguing back and forth. It's just loud and aggressive, and so we're going back and forth. And I ended up getting so angry to the point where I said, you know what? I'm going to contact my lawyers, and we're just going to solve this in court. Forget it. I'm upset. You guys are not hearing me. Apparently, I'm not hearing you all, and we ended up hanging up the phone, and we were all very angry. And when I got off the phone, now, because I'm a believer, my conviction was a bit loud, saying, hey, be careful. But it was a point of my life where I was so angry that other people didn't care about the health and well-being of my family. We all face allergies. My son fights asthma, but we believe in God that he's going to heal all of us. But in the same time, I want to be able to be a good steward over our health at the current time. And so I ended up getting off the phone. Everybody was angry. And it was bad. And so I go to my studio room, and I sit in my corner, and the Lord began to speak to me. And he said, go back and apologize. And at this time, my pride was at my neck. I'm like, Lord, ain't no way I'm going back to apologize. There's no way. No way. And I have this relationship with God where when he speaks to me and I get the message, he no longer responds. So he leaves me to wrestle with my own thinking. And so he tells me to go back and apologize, and I had to make a decision. Do I allow my pride to keep me stuck right here, or do I humble myself and go back and apologize? And so I know that he's the God of peace and also the God of rest. I didn't want that to affect everything that he has already predestined for my life. So I said, you know what, Lord, okay, I'm getting up, I'm going back. I called the property manager, I called the maintenance manager, and I apologize. I say, you guys, I am so sorry. I am sorry that I was a bit aggressive, loud. I thought that in my approach with aggression, you guys would hear me and do something about it. But I realized that this may not have been the best way. And so you can tell that they transformed from being a property and maintenance managers into being like a mom and an auntie. The humbleness in everybody's voice, the tone, the love, it was unbelievable. And you can feel that so much care on the phone call. And I understood. I said, I understand that I'm responsible for the mold. I understand that I'm responsible for all that and what it affects. And they were sharing with me, they would love to help me, but they just can't go against their policies to do this because they have to secure their jobs also. And I said, I understand. So they said they are grateful that we had came to understanding that I'm left responsible for the mold. I said, okay, awesome. So we got off the phone, and the apology was so powerful that the property manager emailed me personally and told me how beautiful that was. And to me, I didn't think it was going to end that way, but I'm so grateful that I obeyed God and listened. And so she told me, she said it was very beautiful, and they're going to send someone out to fix a pipe issue, even though I'll be responsible for the mold. So they sent somebody out. And so when the guy came, this is where it gets interesting. When the guy came, he was like, hey, I heard about the pipe issue that when you turn the dryer on, it sends lint into the attic, where it makes the property a fire hazard. I said, yes, sir, it's upstairs. But he said, I also was told that there was mold. I'm like, yeah, I was talking to the property manager, but I didn't talk to you about it. So I don't see how, that will help us because we got to pay for it. He said, but These are the pictures that I took, and you guys have seen the pictures that I post on social media about the mold, the severe bacteria, and I'm gonna post those videos on the screen so you can see it too. And so now he goes up to the attic, he sees it, he comes back down maybe like 30 minutes later and say, hey man, this is bad. There's bacteria, there's mold in the air duct system and all that, and you guys have to get it clean. There's just no other way around it. I'm pretty sure you're experiencing bad coughs and all kind of stuff. I said, yes sir, that's why I've been letting him know it's hard to breathe and everything. He said, yes, I got you. He said, but I can come out and fix it Monday. I was like, oh, so you're gonna fix everything? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna fix everything. I'm like, okay, how much you gonna charge me? And he was like, I don't understand. I said, well, how much you gonna charge me? Because when the company get it fixed, they'll charge me a fee. So I need to at least know how much I'm gonna be able to save up to pay for the fee. And he was like, well, the property is actually paying for it, so you may have to get with them. So they come out, they do the job, they suit up, they're in a whole bunch of masks and all that, and it's quite impressive to see how they deal with mold. And so, long story short, they finished the job, and the company that fixed the job actually fell through the ceiling, and so they had to replace the ceiling and do all those things. And so I sent a report to the company, say, hey, they fell through the ceiling, this not on me. I just want to let you guys know. And they said, okay, I understand. And so the next day after the job was done, this is where it's gonna get good, y'all. So the next day, I ended up getting a phone call. And it was the company that we was renting from, and they wanted to make sure that the people who fell through the roof fixed the roof. And so I was just confirming to them that, hey, they did fix it, and it looks brand new. And I said, hey, ma'am, before I get off the phone, I wanted to make sure that there isn't a surprise charge that we was going to get because they fixed the HVAC air duct system. And I knew the company that we just spoke to gave us a charge that it was going to cost us $1,600 to be able to get the air ducts clean. And so this company just did it. And so if we're going to have to pay $1,600, like the property manager and the maintenance manager told us that we was going to have to end up paying, I wanted to make sure that if we're getting charged that we're prepared for it. So I just want to confirm if they're going to charge us for the air duct cleaning for the mold and the severe bacteria. And her words to me were, according to my manager, I was told that the last conversation you guys had together, the conversation was so powerful that they end up deciding to cover the entire fee and not charging you guys at all. And you can imagine how mind-blowing that was for us, and we were shocked because we just had an aggressive conversation that changed into us apologizing, that turned into us getting fully compensated for a job that we were responsible for by law and according to the lease that we signed. What blew my mind was that apology was so powerful that it altered the plan. When I heard that, it blew my mind, and I'm sitting on my bed and I'm like, Lord, what the world is going on? And the Lord said, he said, get up. He said, I'm about to share something with you that's going to change a nation. I said, what, Lord? He said, I want you to create a video. And he said, and I want you to name it The Power of an Apology. And I said, yes, Lord. And the Lord began to speak to me. The Lord said, I am about to restore my bride from the wounds and bruises of close contact. Many of them have fallen apart from bad communication and miscommunication. Due to the lack of patience to hear each other through, many have experienced the blade in relationships. In this hour, my goal is not to cut people off, but to cut you. It is not my intention to make your test escape you, but to build you through it by allowing pressure and challenges to arise. Many kingdom relationships will be restored from an apology. Many have said, God said move on, in hope to escape the warfare of patience. But today I say, go back. Go back, saith the Lord, and I will walk with you. The people you despise are my children too. Go back and I will restore not only the relationships, but I will have you gather your testimonies that you left. Though many trials aren't worthy of a return, go anyway. For I will send my word to heal the people you wanted destroyed. All are mine, saith the Lord. And as you go through obedience, I will heal your wounds. Sickness will come up off you. Anxiety will release you. Depression will be no more, and stress will no longer hold you as one who holds the bit in a horse's mouth. I saw miracles birthed from apologies. I saw restoration hit kingdom relationships. How can they build with a divided language? An apology can yield the same results in all languages. Forgiveness. Those who choose to crucify their desire to be right in hope to win a soul chooses a better way. The end will be better for that person than one who holds the debt over another person's head knowing they can't pay it. So in result, they delight in holding someone hostage without grace. This is a powerful statement that he shared with me. Here it is. Going back to get an offended one is better than going ahead with no one. This is the word of the Lord. And don't forget to check out my new released book called What Do You See by Rod Pickens. And when you get this book, I want to know what kind of encounters God has given you. Until the next time, be blessed because you already are. In Jesus' name.